This is the MAKEASY Coil Spiral Binding Machine, 4-to-1 pitch edition, and my first impression is that it feels like real equipment, not a toy. I got it because I wanted workbooks and project manuals that open flat and look clean, and I was tired of paying for binding runs. I had some doubts going in. Would the manual punch leave me exhausted? Would the included electric inserter actually help or just be a gimmick? And would I be able to figure out the crimping pliers without ruining coils? After a few sessions, I can say it's a serious tool with a few quirks, but it delivers professional results if you take a bit of time to set it up correctly. On appearance and feel, it's heavy, around 17 pounds, and that weight matters. The metal core gives it a planted, stable base, so it doesn't wander while you pull the lever. The outer shell is clean, office-friendly, with a simple control layout, a long punching handle, a clear paper guide, an adjustable side margin, and the electric coil inserter roller up top. It has that open throat style that makes it easier to work with pages wider than A4 when needed. Nothing rattly here. The lever motion is smooth and linear, and the whole frame resists flex, which shows up in consistent hole alignment from stack to stack. It takes meaningful desk space, more like a mid-sized printer than a stapler, so it's meant to live on a sturdy table, not be tossed in a bag. From my experience, setup took me a few minutes the first time. This model uses a 4-to-1 pitch, which means 4 holes per inch with about 6.35 millimeter spacing. That's standard for plastic coils you can buy anywhere. I use letter, A4 and A5, and the hole counts matched as advertised. 44 for letter, 46 for A4, 33 for A5. I like that the machine has 46 fully disengaging pins. If you haven't used those before, think of them as little switches for each punch. Disengaging the last 1 or 2 means you won't get half holes hanging off the edge when you're binding a custom size. That's a big deal if you make journals or half-size booklets. Punching capacity is honest. The listing says up to 15 sheets of 20-pound 80-gram paper, and I can hit that. But for cleaner edges and less effort, I usually run 10 to 12 sheets per pull. For heavier cardstock, I keep it to about 7 to 8 sheets. If I add a PVC cover, 5 to 12 mil, I do a single cover by itself, then the stack. That keeps the holes crisp and the die happy. The lever pull is not hard, but it's real work if you're doing a 150-page project in batches. I found a rhythm, a line against the paper guide, set the side margin to 4.5 millimeters for typical documents. Keep my non-dominant hand on the stack to hold it flat, and commit to the pull. The chip tray fills slowly, but don't forget to empty it. Packed chits lead to fuzzy holes. The electric coil inserter is the part I was most curious about. It's a small motorized roller that grabs the plastic coil and spins it through your holes. Key tip: I manually twist the first few loops, about 4 or 5 turns, to start the coil, then lay it against the roller. The machine takes it from there. It's faster and more consistent than hand threading, and it keeps the pages from splaying. It also frees your hands to keep the stack squared. Noise is modest, more hum than whine, and the feed is controlled so you're not chasing coils across the desk. Crimping is where my learning curve showed. The included coil crimper pliers do 2 things at once. They cut the extra tail off the coil and bend the end inward so the coil can't unwind. There's an orientation dot on the pliers. Dot up is the rule. I botched my first 2 tries because I didn't insert the pliers deep enough before cutting, so the bend didn't tuck in and the coil crept out. Once I pushed the pliers in all the way, cut, and immediately rotated to bend inward. The ends locked perfectly. If you're new, practice on a short scrap stack. It's worth 5 minutes to avoid a messy finish on your first book. Key features that stand out while using it day to day. The adjustable side margin, 2.5 millimeters, 4.5 millimeters, 6.5 millimeters, gives me control over how close the holes sit to the edge. For thin documents, I go shallower. For thicker ones, I push it deeper, so the pages don't tear near the holes. The paper guide is clear. And the disengaging pins make custom sizes easy. The machine ships with a box of 5/16" black coils and the crimping pliers, so I didn't have to buy extras to get started. A 5/16" coil is great for small manuals. In my hands, that holds roughly 50 to 60 sheets of standard paper. For bigger projects, I use larger coils I already had, and the machine handles them fine during insertion. MAKEASY says it can bind up to very large stacks with the right coil diameter, and that lines up with coil charts I've used before. What I like most, and why it matters to me, is the consistency. My individual stacks line up perfectly when I bind a long document in multiple punches. That's because the heavy frame keeps the die aligned and the guide system is repeatable. I've made workbooks for classes, a training manual with a thick back cover, and a run of A5 journals. The books open flat, flip smoothly, and survive being tossed in a bag. The electric inserter turns that threading step into the easy part, which keeps my energy for the manual punching. In my opinion, that hybrid setup, manual for the punch, electric for the insert, hits a sweet spot for small offices and creators who want reliable output without a giant machine. I had some initial worries. I thought I'd get tired fast, but pacing the job and sticking to 10 to 12 sheets per pull kept it manageable. I thought the inserter might chew coils, but starting the coil by hand and keeping gentle pressure toward the roller prevents that. I thought crimping would be a nightmare, and it was clumsy for a day. Then it clicked. If you ever see a coil walking out of the book, it's almost always a crimp issue, not the machine. It's perfect for teachers, homeschoolers, Etsy-style makers, and small offices that send out proposals or workbooks. From my experience, the difference between a passable bind and a great one comes down to respecting the material limits. Don't force 15 sheets of heavy stock just because the lever can take it. Keep the side margin appropriate to your document thickness, and always hold the stack tight to the fence before pulling. The payoff is a clean edge and an easy ride through the inserter. I'd recommend this for anyone who needs professional coil-bound documents without buying a full industrial setup. The weight makes it non-portable, so plan a permanent spot on your desk. The manual punch means your upper body gets a small workout on long runs, but the stability and precision are worth it. Support-wise, MAKEASY's pitch is that each unit is tested and they respond quickly. I haven't needed help, but that's good to know. And the value is strong because the starter coils and crimpers are in the box, so you're not hunting for extras on day one. In conclusion, the MAKEASY coil spiral binding machine delivers reliable pro-looking binds with a straightforward routine. Align, punch in modest stacks, start the coil, let the inserter do its thing, crimp correctly, and you're done. The learning curve is real for the crimping step, and you'll feel the manual punches on big projects. But the results look like something you'd pay a shop to produce. If your goal is clean, lay-flat books that hold up, this machine gets you there with repeatable precision and useful controls you can grow into as you take on more complex projects. I will post full information about the MAKEASY coil spiral binding machine in the comments section. See you in the following videos.